Hi everyone. In this video, I wanted to get us to actually move our robot. So in this example, I'm going to show you how to download code to get the robot to drive. And just to make it simple and to get you thinking about how you are going to program your own robot, I'm going to use a built-in example here just to get you started. So to get these examples, what you want to do is go to File, Open Examples, and the one I'm actually looking for is TankDrive. So you're going to scroll down to, it's under the sensing category, I believe. And I think I passed it. Yep, here it is, TankDrive. And when you go to use an example program, it asks you to save it for yourself. So you are actually, in effect, starting your own project. So I'd like you to call it TankDrive. I'm going to have to call mine TankDrive 2 because I've already done this. So let's take a look at this example program. Okay, so again, we can see from our file tree that we've generated 4 files, and the one that the code is written in is main CPP. The author has, started us off with some info about configured devices, which I'll talk about in a sec. Okay, and then we can see that our code is written in here. Commands that we haven't even looked into yet. We will talk about where to find these commands and how they work more in class. If you poke around on the Vex website, you'll find all of these there. And we also have some other support. Mr. Patel has written some stuff up for us that we're going to look at. Anyway, you don't need to really know the ins and outs of this to get your robot to actually drive, but you will have to understand what these things do and what how they work when you write your own code. So this is a nice sort of starting off point where you can see the structure and get to know some of the commands. And just while I have you, I'm going to right click on one of these commands that's in here, and this is what I was talking about before. If we right click on a command, we can click on command help. And theoretically, you should be able to find some help in here. I don't know why it told me it's unable to find help in this example, but anyway, theoretically that would work. So let's close that. What I wanted to draw your attention to here is that when this code was written, because it was written to drive our robot, this person had to configure the robot by adding 5 devices. So we can see this person has added 4 motors and a controller in order to be able to send those devices commands. So a good place to look to see if you've configured everything or what has been configured is here with in the robot-config file. So here I can see 4 motors and a controller has been configured. This one also tells you what's been configured with some, additional, these are Vex code device constructors. I can't tell you that I exactly know what these mean, but I'm sure it has something to do internally. Again, this is automatically generated, so it happens internally. We don't really have to worry about it. But what I wanted to show you is later when you go to write your own code, like if you were to start a brand new program, you would have to add your own devices. And the way you do that is by going to this port icon. So if I click on that, I can see that the robot has been configured, that these 5 items have been added. If I wanted to say add a sensor, I would click on add device and I would try to find my sensor here. Maybe I've added, I don't know, a bumper switch, a limit switch, an encoder. So what I would theoretically do is click on that, select the port that I've actually plugged it into so that I can program it. A nice feature here is that it tells you which port. So when this person added these devices, they named the motors and then also indicated which port that motor was plugged into. So I believe if you followed the kit of instructions or the kit instructions, you will have plugged these same items into the same ports. Okay, so if you followed your direction, port 1 should be the left motor, port 10 would be the right motor, and 3 and 8 would be the claw and the arm motor. Okay, so let's close that, but just so you know for future, that's what you have to do, and beware, you have to add the controller, okay? That's not done automatically. And what's nice about this is you can actually program your buttons basically by clicking on them and continuing to click as it sort of goes through the list of motors that you've added. Okay, so I'm going to cancel this, but in order to attach motors to buttons, you can just click and sort of scroll through the options there and end on the one that you want. Just want to draw your attention to, this is the left joystick. We have channels 3 and 4 that are programmed in the code. This is our right joystick with channels 1 and 2. If you have any familiarity with our previous VEX robots and Robot C, very similar setup to the joysticks and channels. Okay, I'm going to cancel this so that I don't make any changes. Okay, and again, we are going to download this program. Actually, let's first okay, our build blocks are gone, but when we download this, it will compile as well. And you can see I already have something called TankDrive here, and it should overwrite to TankDrive 2. And the way I put TankDrive into my second folder is I have to make sure that I'm clicking on this second slot. So if I left it where it was, it would overwrite my Hello 2. I don't want to do that. Okay, we're going to download it, and I can see that TankDrive just changed to TankDrive 2. Okay, so my robot is sitting here on my desk. I don't want it to drive off the table, so I'm going to pick it up now, and let's put it on the floor, and let's get it to move around. All right, so now we have downloaded TankDrive. And as you can see, I've unplugged my USB, and I just want to drive my robot. So there are two ways we can actually get to the program. So if I turn on my brain, I can now see that I have two programs available to me. One is Hello that we downloaded to folder 1, and now in folder 2 I have something called TankDrive. So if I wanted to run TankDrive, I could just press on it and go to run, but I actually want to show you how to find this using your controller. Okay, so this is definitely far from perfect, but hopefully you are able to see a little bit what I'm looking at here. So when I turn my controller on, it will take me to this very first home page. And at the bottom, I can see the word drive. Hopefully you can as well. And I have to be honest, I haven't mastered the buttons myself yet, but I know that if I hit my right arrow key, it'll take me to a screen called Programs. And as you can imagine, I should have two programs stored in there, one called Hello and one called TankDrive. So to actually get into Programs, I can press the A button. Okay, so I have a red screen right now that says link to robot alert. What that means is my robot brain has gone to sleep. So I'm just gonna turn that back on. Okay, and then I'm going to dismiss it. So again, I'm back at this page that says programs. I'm gonna hit A, and you might not be able to read it, but I can see that I have two controller icons and one like empty icon. So this means I actually have two programs, and number 1 program is called Hello, And then if I click my right arrow key, I can see that my second is TankDrive. So what I'm actually going to do is tap A, and then it gives me the option to run. And yes, that is what I want to do. So I'm going to tap A again. Okay, and I can see that my TankDrive program is running. There's a timer here. Okay, and I can also see I only have 25% battery left, so I better hurry up with this demo. Okay, so what I wanted to show you now, so I'm completely I should be able to drive my robot now. So download the code, give it a go, guys, and hopefully what you should notice is that TankDrive, kind of hard to drive straight. Using TankDrive, or at least that's my experience. Now the reason for that is I can see that my left joystick, which controls channels 3 and 4, okay, that controls the left side of my robot. So I can see that if I want to turn in a circle, that's pretty cool. Same with my channels 1 and 2, which are associated with my right joystick. I can turn really easily, but actually going straight means that I have to push both channels, both 3 and 2, okay, with the same force at the same time. Same with going in reverse, and maybe, I don't know, I don't claim to be a good driver, but this is a bit tough, I think. So let's check out the arm controls. Okay, so we said that the shoulder buttons should raise and lower the claw. Oh, maybe they didn't. All right, I guess we did not program the claw. Let's check. Oops. Nope, don't end the meeting. Just minimize. All right. Okay, it looks like we did not program the claw. So maybe that will be your first task, is to program the claw within your TankDrive. So the way we would check to see how to do that is we look at our devices and we can see that our claw motor and arm motor are linked to ports 3 and 8. Okay, so they are actually part of our configuration, but I haven't actually written any code to move my thing called claw motor or arm motor. So claw motor and arm motor are not in fact given any instructions to spin. So let's make that our first task, shall we? After this, what I'd like you to do is modify TankDrive to include some commands for moving the claw up and down and in